Hello everybody, Isaac here, and today I've got a Kill Confirm gameplay for you guys. For this one I'm using the MSMC, and I go 29-2. That's all I'm going to be talking about for this gameplay today because the Sony Conference happened, and I want to give my thoughts on the overall conference. I thought overall that this was a very good conference, and right now I'm actually leaning more towards the PS4 because the Xbox One is doing a lot of stuff that I do not like, and the PS4 is doing a lot of stuff that I do like. The PS4 is going to be available holiday season. I think it's like December 21st or somewhere around there, and that's just probably so people can get it for Christmas, unlike the Xbox One, which is releasing in November. And you can get it for $399, but when I say right now is I was on GameStop, I emailed them just to ask them to make sure, and they haven't emailed me back, so I'm thinking that they just don't want to answer it or something along those lines. You cannot actually purchase this for $399 at GameStop because they force you to buy it in a bundle, making it somewhere around $450. It's the same thing for the Xbox One. It's not actually $499, it's somewhere around $560. But if you get it from Amazon, it's the $399 or $499, so you can choose which one you want to do. Now onto the conference. They delayed the start, but I think overall it was okay because it didn't really matter to me since I was gone for a little bit, and I just came back and fast forwarded it through the live stream. They started off with like a wrap up of their conference in February, which I thought was kind of weird. And then they went on and talked about their Vita, and then they went on and talked about their PS3, and then The Last of Us, which those three things together I just thought were a complete waste of time, because why would you talk about... They talked about everything that's already happened. They talked about their conference that already happened. They talked about their Vita, which is already out, and then they talked about their PS3, and all the good games that are coming out for it. And then they talked about Last of Us. The Last of Us was just coming out in a couple of days, and then PS3, which has already happened, and all that. So, I mean, overall, I think they should have just skipped all that, or just skimmed through it. Then the games, there was Rain, which looks like a ghost game to me. I'm not really going to say much because I don't know much. There's that Beyond Two Souls game. It looks interesting, like a person who has like special abilities and then gets drafted, or not drafted, but gets taken into like the FBI or something like that. Then there's Gran Turismo 6. Personally, I think Forza looks better because it has more interesting features than that. Then there was Batman Arkham Origins. It's for the PS3, and there's some exclusive content coming out for it for the PS3. Grand Theft Auto 5, there's an exclusive bundle, which is $299 for the PS3. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, but I think it's a little overpriced. And then they finally showed the PS4, which looks just like the Xbox One, except it's like a parallelogram. So, I heard when I was watching the live stream, I saw some people complaining about it, like, what if you want to put yours in a corner, because that will not work. Then they went and talked about, movies, some more TV, and then music, and more music. And then they threw in some popular movies to get cheers from the audience, because I think people from the Xbox One conference were tired of hearing about TV and movies and stuff like that. There was another game that came out, The Order, I think it was like The Order 1886 or something like that. It looked like a werewolf zombie game to me. It looks very, very cool, and it's exclusive to the PS4. There was also, I know a lot of people already know this one, Killzone Shadowfall, which is the same Hellgast and all that, like two cities living right next to each other. That is again coming out for PS4, and is a launch title, as well as Drive Club, which I guess is like another driving game, which looks like The Crew kind of, but not really, and that's another launch title. And then there's Infamous Second Son, which is coming out Q1 2014. It looks okay. I've never really played too many Infamous games, but I know a lot of people were excited for that one. There was the Dark Sorcerer, which, like the trailer for it, I was super confused. I have no idea what that's about, so I'm not even going to attempt to try to explain it. And then the biggest game, they have Octodad. They have the Octodad. It's coming out for PS4, which is like PS4 already won with that game. And then there were so many indie games that they showed. There were so many. It was like 15 or 16 indie games. I'm like, just show the bigger games. Why? They just showed too many of those indie games. And some of them I didn't even like care for whatsoever. And then they went on and showed Diablo 3, which is coming out for Xbox and PS3. I was kind of sad about that. I thought it'd be really, really cool if they came out with that for PS4, but they didn't. There was Kingdom of Hearts 3. Once again, another game I have no idea about. They showed a lot of games which I've never heard of before, but a lot of people have a lot of other people have heard about it. So I mean, I guess it's a big game, and so I mean, if you want to be happy for it, be happy for it. And now those past games they showed no gameplay for, or very 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 slim amount of gameplay. And now with this game, they actually showed some really really cool gameplay, which was the new Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It was being played on the PS4 from my understanding, and I know a lot of people are saying it was from the live stream, but it wasn't, because the live stream was running and like you could actually see the audience moving, and the game was just super 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 laggy. And I was just like, I was thinking, can the PS4 handle games with that much like on screen at once happening, like the particle effects and the physics and all that? Can the PS4 handle it? Because from what that happened, the system was lagging when it was trying to play that game. So I mean, I don't know. And then they went and showed Watch Dogs once again. It looks absolutely amazing. I ran into lag once again, but this time I think it was on the stream. It wasn't actually on the game. And from the biggest feature that I saw on that from this conference was that you can ask for help from other players online, which looks amazing, and that's just going to be more pumped for this game. And if I'm going to get one of the systems right now, I'm thinking that's going to be the game that I'm going to bundle it with if I get it from GameStop. Then they showed NBA 2K14, which, as I've mentioned before, looks way better than NBA Live, and that's probably why I'm going to get that one over there, or which is why I'm going to get 2K14 over Live. And then Elder Scrolls Online is on PS4. It's coming out spring 2014. It's also coming to Xbox One, but you can get your beta first on PS4. I'm really really happy for this, but I do not know as of right now if you're going to have to pay a subscription to play on that on the PS4 or Xbox One, or if it just comes with your Xbox, your Live account or your PS Plus account. And what I want to mention right now is that a lot of people arguing about, you don't have to pay for an online on the PS4, which you actually do. It's $5 a month. And so I mean, if you guys are still thinking you're going to get free online play, that's actually not true. You're going to have to start paying for it, which I mean, for Xbox One users who are switching, it's not really that big of a deal because we've been paying for Live for forever. Moving on, there was a game called Mad Max. I've never heard of it before, once again, but it seems to be a pretty big deal. And the biggest bombshell that dropped at the PS4 thing that I think a lot of Xbox One users are going to switch for is the PS4 supports used games. And I was just thinking, when that came out, does the PS4 win this generation? And as of right now, what I'm thinking is yes, because that is just a big, big thing that I think the Xbox One dropped the ball on. Is that they should have supported used games. They should have listened to the consumers, but instead they listened to the developers, and they just caved in and took away used games. And another thing that they said is you do not have to be connected to play, which is another big deal. But honestly, I don't really care, because I'm already on usually once every day, or if I'm not, I don't really care if I have to sign back in. It's just not that big of a deal to me. There's no 24-hour checkup, as mentioned before. The PS account will go over to PlayStation 4, but you have to be PS Plus, so I would upgrade now while you still have a chance. The PS Plus members get one free game a month, which I mean, I guess is an okay deal, but the thing that they said was they're just going to be giving away indie titles first. I think they said the first free game you're going to get is Do Not Starve, which is an indie game, and I'm thinking that they just kind of like, they were just like, yeah, we'll give you a free game, Do Not Starve, which is like, what, $1.50 or something like that. So I mean, they're not really going out and above to hand us free games. Then the last game that they showed, which I thought was a really really good idea, was Destiny. It's another open world multiplayer game from obviously Bungie and the people who brought you Call of Duty. You play as these people called Guardians, who are just going out and I'm guessing like trying to take back like the Earth and stuff like that. The storyline I still do not know a lot about, but it looks pretty cool to me. It looks like basically Halo again, honestly, but it looks like a good Halo. There's loot, which is really really cool, because I mean, it looked like, if you guys have ever played the game Defiance, it looks like Defiance, because I mean, there's these things called Arcfall and Defiance, which is like big things of stuff falling down from the sky, which then causes an open world event, which is what they called it, except they called it a public event. And it's just like people fighting against like really like a large amount of like basic enemies, and then like one or two of the bigger enemies coming in, and then everybody needs to like team together and take it down, and everybody just like tries to help each other, and then thus they get a lot more loot and they get a lot better loot. So I mean, overall, Destiny is probably going to be one of the better games that I want to get, and I think I don't know if they came out with a release date for it. I know you can purchase or pre-order on GameStop and all that, but I'm guessing it's going to be like Q1 or Q2 of 2014. So I mean, overall, the PS4 conference was really good, and I liked it, and I thought it was better than the Xbox One. But if you guys like this video, leave a like, and if you want to see more like this stuff, leave a subscribe. Thank you.